Every morning, sometime between 5 a.m. and 11 a.m., we release our Central Indiana Scoreboard show. It's similar to the ESPN Radio Sports Center shows, but we focus on the Pacers, Fever, Colts, IU, Purdue, IndyCar, and the best high school sports coverage in Central Indiana. Please join us every morning for the Central Indiana Scoreboard show right here on the Central Indiana Sports Report. What you're listening to now is podcast number 277.2, our Girls Track Regional Preview, where we go over the top seeds and local contenders at Tuesday's Girls Track Regionals at Fort Wayne Carroll, at Lafayette Jeff, and at Lawrence Central, with overviews of every regional in the state. And Tipton Tribune and Elwood Call Leader sports editor Michelle Garman to talk about her local regional athletes.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengelt.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whenever you've chosen to listen to the Central Indiana Sports Report, we cannot thank you enough for spending part of your day with us. Today is May 27, 2025. It's a Tuesday. It's another day for Central Indiana sports. So it's another day for the Central Indiana Sports Report. I'm your host, Greg Mengelt, coming to you today from Madison Grant High School, probably for the final time this school year. Producer Susie is in the control room at headquarters in Jeffersonville. Coming up, we have the top seeds from every event from the regionals in Fort Wayne, Lafayette, and Lawrence. Also, the Mengelt Track and Field formulation will make its podcast debut. The formulation will predict the champions and contenders at all three locations. Then we'll hear from Michelle Garman of the Tipton Tribune and Elwood Call Leader about her local track athletes in Tuesday's regionals. Before we get to all of that, I'm going to ask you to please go subscribe at our YouTube page. That's our new hub, and there's going to be lots of video to go along with our podcast very soon. Also, we'll have full results from across the state Wednesday on our Girls Track and Field Sectional Scoreboard show, and Thursday morning we'll preview the boys regionals at the same locations. First, we're going to go through each event, give you the top seeds and the local contenders, and then we'll tell you what the Mengelt formulation spit out as far as team predictions at each site. And we start in Fort Wayne at Fort Wayne Carroll. The host Chargers are the two-time defending regional champion. That's been a regional that's been dominated by Northrop over the years, but it's been more Carroll recently. We start with the individual events with the 100-meter dash, of course, my favorite event. And Fort Wayne Carroll's Nadia Ford is the top seed. She ran a 12:31 in her sectional. Gabrielle Carlisle of Lures and Ava Muller of Carroll are the second and third seeds. We expect Caroline Wallace of Yorktown to definitely be a contender to at least advance, if not compete for the sectional championship. Same with Oak Hill's Ellie Campbell. Also in the field is Huntington North's Reagan Double, Frankton's Jocelyn Carnes Hatfield, Jaden Embry from Muncie Central, and Maisie Allen from Marion. Ford and Mueller, both from Carroll, are the top two seeds in the 200, with Delta's Mia Bollinger the third seed. Some local contenders, Ellie Campbell from Oak Hill is a contender in this one as well, as is her teammate Kale Bolin. Ariel Beiswinger of Jennings County comes in as the sixth seed, also locally in the event. Wallace, we expect to be a contender in this one as well. Huntington North's Sylvia Del Rosal Serra and Madison Grant's Lacey Sutherland will compete locally. Reagan Furness from Fort Wayne Dwenger is the top seed in the 400 after going under a minute. The only athlete to do that last week at the sectionals. She went 58.87 at the sectional. Leo's Allison Souter is the second seed, and Norwell's Jade Dale is the third seed. Locally, Marion's Naomi Cox and Oak Hill's Bree Daly. Jay County's Ariel Beiswinger Rachel Ward of Burris, Oak Hills Lily Edwards, and Peyton Carpenter of Jay County will all compete locally. Sorry if I said Jennings County earlier. I've been covering Jennings County for the last 20 years. Please forgive me. In the 800, Fort Wayne Concordia's Maddie Gintz is the top seed, but it's going to be a really close race. Columbia City's Riley Myers and her teammate Briley Crass also around the 220 range. Wabahani's Anne-Marie Gibson is the 8th seed, followed by Jay County's Brooklyn Byram, Frankton's Chelsea Newton, Yorktown's Casey Gifford, and Logansport's Audrey Graham are our local competitors in the 800. Concordia is also expected to dominate the distance events. Mallory Weller is the top seed in the 1600, and her sister Daphne is the 3rd seed. They sandwich Leo's Rowan Norris. Competing locally in the 1600 are Wapahani's Anne-Marie Gibson, Yorktown's Tori Oliver, Quinn Bruner of Oak Hill, and Mississinawa's Carly Simmons. Mallory Weller is also the top seed in the 3200, and Daphne Weller is also the number 3 seed in the 3200, and they sandwich Columbia City's Kenya Leach. Elena Bruckner has a very good chance of advancing. The Eastbrook Star is the 4 seed. She was one of 4 runners to go in the 1120 range at the sectional. Huntington North's Alice Friesen should also be a competitor to get to state. She is the 5th seed. Also locally is Northfield's Kaylee Rice, Eastbrook's Whitney Gall, Tori Oliver of Yorktown, and the Wapahani duo of Ella Taylor and Ava Cook. Homestead's Annalise Smart is the number 1 seed in the 100 hurdles, just ahead of Kala Williams Thomas of Northrop and Delta's Jillian Barr. Also competing locally are Annalyn Hymas of Yorktown, Wapahani's Lexi Dobbs, and Oak Hill's Lexi Newber. In the 300 hurdles, the top seed is Adele Schlotterback of Carroll. Number 2 seed is Alyssa Davis of Carroll, and Williams Thomas of Northrop is the 3rd seed. Competing locally also in both hurdles events are Newber and Hymas, and Dobbs, along with Burris's Sloan Sanchez and Madison Grant's Rylan Stenger, who we will hear from quite a few times in this podcast. The top seeds in the 4x100 relay are Carroll, Northrop, and Dwinger. Delta is the 4th seed, Oak Hill 5th, and Huntington North 6th. You would think they would all have a pretty good chance of advancing to state. Jay County is the 8th seed, Madison Grant 10, Marion is 11th, and Muncie Central 12th. In the 4x4 relay, Dwinger, Carroll, and Columbia City are your top seeds. All 3 have a chance of winning this regional championship. Yorktown is the 6th seed, then Jay County, Marion, Oak Hill, Huntington North, Burris, and Southwood will compete in the 4x4. And in the 4x8 relay, of course, Fort Wayne Concordia is the favorite. They're probably the favorite in the state, followed by Columbia City and Homestead. Wapahani is the 5th seed, so they have a shot at getting out. Yorktown's the 7th seed. Also competing locally, Southwood, Marion, Jay County, and Huntington North. In the long jump, the top seed is Delta's Reed Backus, and the number 2 seed is Delta's Jillian Barr. They could very well go 1-2 in the regional. In fact, looking at the seeding, they should go 1-2, although don't be surprised if Oak Hill's Ellie Campbell plays a little bit of a spoiler in the long jump. Also competing locally in the long jump, Muncie Central's Jaden Embry, Janessa Thomas of Yorktown, Jay County's Peyton Carpenter, Madison Grant's Rylan Stenger, that's her 2nd of 4 events, and Oak Hill's Erica Newhouse. Marion freshman Naomi Hahn shares the number 1 seed in the high jump, clearing 5'1" in the sectional. The others to do that were Fort Wayne Carroll's Caitlin Peterson and Columbia City's Allison Mullet. Rylan Stenger from Madison Grant cleared 4'10" at sectional. This is her best chance of getting to state, and we really, really hope that she does. Yorktown's Caroline Coward, Delta's Adelaide Zeller, Jay County's Jenna Deuce, and Northfield's Emily Miller also cleared 4'10" at their sectionals. In the pole vault at the sectional at Fort Wayne Carroll, Leo's Alexandria Gates is easily the top seed. She cleared 10-6 at last week's sectional. Clearing 9-6 last week were Yorktown's Emerson Meredith and Norwell's Addison Embry. Madison Grant's Abby Winchester cleared 9 feet and has a very good chance of advancing to state. Delta's Greer Backus and Adelaide Zeller also have a chance to advance. Also competing locally are Yorktown's Olivia Wang, Oak Hill's Abby Sneed, the diving star, Jay County's Maria Himmelgarn, and Northwestern Sophia Hawley. Heritage's Alexa Walter is the top seed in the shot put, followed very closely by Carroll's Lily George and Eastbrook's Mia Bustos. Also expected to be a serious contender to get to state and probably for the regional championship is Yorktown's Maren Gessler. Also in the shot put field is Oak Hill's Janessa Shields, Huntington North's Annika Carpenter, Jay County's Jordan Hutzler, Delta's Ruth Shirk, and Olivia Conklin from Yorktown. And in the discus, Oak Hill's Janessa Shields is the top seed. She is the expected favorite in the discus. And Maren Gessler from Yorktown is the second seed. She also has a great shot at advancing to state. They were the only two to go over 110 last week at their sectionals. Walter from Heritage is the third seed. And Eastbrook's Mia Bustos is the fifth seed. She has a chance to advance in 2 different events. Also competing in the discus at the Fort Wayne Carroll sectional is Yorktown's Sophie Gernand, Muncie Central's Jaslyn Harvey, Greer Backus of Delta, and Jordan Hutzler of Jay County. The Mingelt formulation, which takes the seeds and also a little secret formula to predict the outcome of the regionals, says that Fort Wayne Carroll is going to win its 3rd regional in a row fairly comfortably. What's going to be interesting is 2nd through 6th place as Homestead, Concordia, Northrop, Columbia City, and Dwenger battle for those spots, and also a chance to get up into the top 2 or 3, Delta, Yorktown, and Oak Hill. Used to do the formulation at the Jeffersonville Evening News and New Albany Tribune. For those of you who don't know, I'm a huge track nerd. It is my favorite sport, probably outside of basketball. Love it, love it, love it, and love going through the seedings and trying to figure out which team is going to win it. We move now to Lafayette Jeff. Last year, Carmel beat Brownsburg by 3 points and Hamilton Southeastern by 4 to win their 11th all-time sectional championship and their first since 2016. This year should also be very competitive, and I will have the formulation for you at the end of the seedings. In the 100-meter dash at the Lafayette Jeff sectional will be Lafayette Jeff's Amani Bird. She ran a 12:38 last week in her sectional. Harrison Sabrina Willis and Carmel's Rebecca Bellinger are the 2nd and 3rd seeds. Also competing locally with a shot at getting out the Noblesville pair of Maya Baker and Ainsley Minderding. Hamilton Southeastern has Kalia McCarter. Northwestern's Emma Baker. Hamilton Heights' Olivia Schiefley. Western has Nora Ewing and Kokomo Elena Stewart competing in the 100-meter dash. Again, we're at the Lafayette Jeff sectional. Emily Norris ran a 25:20 in the 200 last week, and she is the top seed in that event, followed by Fisher's Zania Pineda and Harrison's Tinley Blankenship. Western's Nora Ewing has a great shot at getting out. She is the 4th seed. The 5th seed is Ainsley Minerding of Noblesville. Kalia McCarter of Hamilton Southeastern is the 6th seed, also competing locally. Annalie Hedrick of Cass, Sheridan's Nova Cross, and Hamilton Southeastern's Ava Kashani. Great season for Nova Cross and her Sheridan Blackhawks relay team, by the way. In the 400, the top 3 seeds are Hamilton Southeastern's Anissa Lammy, Carmel's Olivia Sabello, and Hamilton Heights' Noah Rieger. Also competing locally, Carmel's Gabriela Grande Rosas, LaPelle's Layla Wilson, who's the 5th seed in the 400, has an excellent chance of advancing. Garen's Brooke Bonnell and Claire Flanagan are the 8th and 9th seeds. Western's Ashlyn Pownall, Tri-Central's Jackie Trujillo, and Western's Gracie Shade will also compete in the 400. Carmel's Larkin Taylor and Noblesville's Brinkley Cooper will likely fight for the 800-meter championship along with Hamilton Southeastern Sierra Kepner. Also competing locally are Fisher's Isabella Murch, Garen's Katie Kolb, Noblesville's Gretchen Graham, Hamilton Southeastern's Ava Powers, Afton Griffin of Cass, and Ava Kantz of Eastern. Carmel Sadie Foley is the favorite, pretty significant favorite in the 1600, but she'll be challenged by a pair of Hamilton Southeastern runners in Elizabeth Butler and Carly Campbell. Carmel's Olivia Munt is the 4th seed, and Noblesville's Riley Flynn is the 6th seed, also competing locally. Noblesville's Ansley Applegate, Cass's Hope Rush, and Alette Woodhouse of Logansport. Carmel's Annabelle Pollard is the favorite in the 3200, just ahead of Elizabeth Butler from Hamilton Southeastern. Westfield's Olivia Lozier is the 3rd seed, also competing locally. Ella Gaddis of Carmel, Noblesville's Jade Stam, Hamilton Southeastern's Allie Bushy, Mechaniqua's Chloe Jordan, and the Western duo of Mary Claire DePaula and Hattie Harlow. We move to the hurdles, where Hamilton Southeastern's Ella Blackmore is the favorite in both events. The number 2 seed in the 100 hurdles is Kokomo's Jaslyn McKay, who's having herself just a great season. West Lafayette's Cameron Schweiger is the 3rd seed. Western's Allison McKittrick and Northwestern's Zoe Schieffer both ran 1570s last week at the sectional. They are tied for the 4th seed. Also competing locally are Faith Chunte Fatso, which gives me a good chance to say, please forgive me if I don't pronounce every single runner's name correctly. I believe I'm in the 99th percentile of pronouncing names, but I don't get them all right, so please forgive me if I miss one. Hamilton Southeastern's Micaiah Bullock is the 8th seed. Charlotte Hunter of Carmel is the 11, and Delphi's Aubrey Frost is the 15 seed. In the 300 hurdles after Blackmore, it's Hamilton Southeastern teammate Chloe Sinnefeld and Fisher's Devin Day as the top 3 seeds. And McKay of Kokomo is the 4 seed, followed by her teammate Gianna Thornton. Both have an excellent chance of getting out, as is 6 seed Zoe Schieffer of Northwestern. The 7 seed is Maya Galuli of Carmel. The 9th seed is Livy Miller of Carmel. And the 14 seed is Mechaniqua's Lucy Lashnowski. Moving to the relays, the top 3 seeds in the 4x1 are Carmel, Hamilton Southeastern, and Fishers. Also competing locally, Noblesville, Westfield, Kokomo, Hamilton Heights, Northwestern, and Western. It's Hamilton Southeastern, Carmel, and Westfield as the top 3 seeds in the 4x4 relay, followed by Noblesville, Garin, Hamilton Heights, Fishers, Cass, Western, and Mechaniqua. And Harrison and Carmel should be a great race in the 4x8 relay. 2 of the best 4x8 relay teams in the state going head-to-head. Hamilton Southeastern is the 3 seed, Noblesville's 4th, Westfield 5th, Fisher 6th, Garin 7th, Mechaniqua 8th, Hamilton Heights 9th. Western is the 12th seed, and Logansport is the 16th seed. Crawfordsville's Nora Byard is the top seed in the long jump. She went 17.7.5 last week at the sectional, also going over 17 feet, were Emily Norris of Carmel and Maya Baker of Noblesville. Also competing locally, Ainsley Minerding of Noblesville, Hamilton Southeastern's Natalie Arnold and E.J. Schultz, Rebecca Bellinger of Carmel, Kokomo's Ashantia Williams, Fisher's Brianna Garin, and Cass's Annalie Hedrick. Harrison's Michaela Ketterer and Hamilton Heights' Waverly Wolliver are the favorites in the high jump at the Lafayette Regional, along with Crawfordsville's Riley Garner. Also, Westfield's Gracie Zubik cleared 5.3 last week and has a really good shot at getting out and getting to state. Also, locally competing in the high jump are Westfield's Jolie Miller, Hamilton Heights' Macy Smith, and Hamilton Southeastern's Lucy Hagen. In the pole vault, the number 1 seed is Garin Catholic's Amelia Smith, Fisher Scarlett Olsen is the 2 seed, and Northwestern's Emma Baker is the 3. They were the only 3 last week to clear 11 feet 6. The others competing locally are Westfield's Alexandra Hamilton and Ella Jenkins, Clinton Prairie's Taylor Hornbeck, the Carmel duo of Kate Hammond and Livy Miller, Hamilton Southeastern's Riley Williams, and Mechaniqua's Lena Beachy. Elise Walden of Western is the top seed in both the shot put and the discus. Her top competitors in the shot put are Macy Miller of Fishers and Nyla Young of Noblesville. Those look like the 3 top competitors in the shot put. Also competing locally, Tri-Central's Lily Stewart, Carmel's Amila Holder, Hamilton Southeastern's Katie Wooden, Walden's teammate Ellie Kretz of Western, and Northwestern's Avery Nielsen. Her top competitors in the discus are Sophia Zarate from Benton Central and Autumn Reef of North White. Those 3 all went over 130 last week. Also competing locally are Tri-Central's Lily Stewart, Carmel's Amila Holder and Ellie Cooley, Noblesville's Amelia Kring, and Eastern's Elizabeth Bruno. And the Mengelt track and field formulation says this one is going to be the closest of all of our local regionals. I'm going to predict Carmel over Hamilton Southeastern, but I don't feel really good about it. What I do know is those will be the top 2 teams. Also competing for the top 3 spots, Harrison, Noblesville, and Fishers look like 3, 4, and 5. And 3 teams looking to get into the top 5 will be Westfield, West Lafayette, and Western. North Central has been the most dominant team at any of our local regionals. They won last year's regional at Pike. They're 18th overall and 4th in the last 5 years. And of course, we start with the 100-meter dash with Kaya Crook from Heritage Christian, and she might be the star of this regional. The number 2 seed is Franklin Central's Akuya Saki, and the 3rd seed is Lawrence Central's Anaya McKenzie. Competing locally, Mount Vernon's Talea Broaders, Pendleton Heights' Maddie Pfister, and Shenandoah's Lydia Wagner. In the 200, North Central's Emerson Williams is the top seed. Lawrence Central's Anaya McKenzie, and New Pal's Abby Journey all went under 26 seconds in the sectional. Also competing locally, Talea Broaders from Mount Vernon, Daleville's Trishelle Johnson, Pendleton Heights' Sophia Bruce, and Mount Vernon's Molly Worth. In the 400, the top seed is Mount Vernon's Catherine Simmons. She went 57.72 at last week's sectional, just ahead of Lawrence North's Ava Grace Winters. The 3rd seed is Pendleton Heights' Addison Stanley. Also competing locally is New Pal's Riley Hurst, Shenandoah's Grace Lee, and Lydia Wagner. In the 800, the top seed is Kalina Matthews, and her teammate Elizabeth Rocchio are the 2 of the top 3 seeds. The number 2 seed is Caitlin Pettit of Franklin Central. Shenandoah's Casey Hill will also compete in the 800. In the 1600, Pendleton Heights freshman Anya Zeller is the top seed fairly comfortably over Franklin Central's Savannah Miller. Chittard CC Jackson is the 3rd seed. That one, though, should be between Zeller and Miller. Also competing locally, Mount Vernon's Hannah Hauser and McKenna Laffey, and Greenfield Central's Josie Kinneman. It's going to be a heck of a race in the 3200, where Chittard's Julia Score is the top seed at 10:44, but reigning 3200-meter state champion Ava Gerald is the 4th seed, so look out for her. Also, the other top seeds are Brebeuf's Lucy Wood and North Central's Kelsey Rimmel, and New Palestine's Haley Pardlick. Warren Central's Kalana Jackson is the top seed in the 100 hurdles, followed by Lawrence Central's Entreana Osby and Reese McKinney of Chittard. Also, Isabella Sotelo should be very competitive in both hurdles events. The Eastern Hancock Star is the 4th seed in the 100 hurdles and the 3rd seed in the 300 hurdles. Cathedral's Kate Kubecki is the top seed in the 300, followed by North Central's Athena Dixon and Sotelo. Greenfield Central's Addison Buckley is the 6th seed, so she has an excellent chance of advancing to state. Also competing locally, Anderson's Cambriana Austin is the 14th seed. The top seeds in the 4x100 relay are Lawrence Central, North Central, and Lawrence North. Mount Vernon is 7th, Greenfield 11th, and Anderson 16th. In the 4x400 relay, North Central, Cathedral, and Chittard are the top 3 seeds. They were the only 3 teams to go under 4 minutes last week. Shenandoah is the 5th seed. They went 4:04.94 at the sectional. Pendleton Heights is 10th, Mount Vernon 12th, and New Pal 13th. The top 3 seeds in the 4x8 are Chittard, North Central, and East Central. Pendleton Heights is the 6th seed, but wouldn't be surprised at all if they are competing for that championship. Their conference rivals, New Pal and Mount Vernon, are also competing in the 4x8. Kaya Crook from Heritage Christian, is, along with being the favorite in the 100, is also the favorite in the long jump. She went 19-3 last week. North Central's Olivia Smith is the 2nd seed, and North Central's Emerson Williams is 3rd. New Pal's Riley Hurst has an excellent chance of advancing. She's the 6th seed. Also competing locally is Lydia Wagner of Shenandoah, and what a year she's had. Crook of Heritage Christian is also the favorite in the high jump. She and Warren Central's Kira Smith both cleared 5 feet 6 inches last week. That's 4 inches more than anybody else, including her teammate Alana Jordan and Chittard's Charlotte Dudick. Also competing in the regional high jump at Lawrence Central are Eastern Hancock's Ellie Myers, Shenandoah's Casey Hill, New Pal's Abby Journey, and Greenfield Central's Madison Sosani. In the pole vault, the top 3 seeds are Cathedral's McKenna Carpenter, who cleared 11.6 last week, Heather Albrink of East Central 11.3, and Jane Paddock of Lawrence North cleared 11 feet. New Pal Savannah Baird is the 10th seed after clearing 9 feet last week. The top 3 seeds in the shot put are Rushville's Jenna Lawler, Batesville's Ella King, and Lawrence Central's Tonacey Sigler. Also in the shot put at Lawrence Central will be New Pal's Lily Abernathy, Shenandoah's Haley Hughes, Anderson's Zaria Hampton, and Anderson Prep's Kaylin Orr. In the discus, the top 3 seeds are Oldenburg Academy's Rachel Sutman, Emma Mondrush of Tri, and Sarah Jane Hobley of North Central. Haley Hughes of Shenandoah should be very competitive, and this one has a very good shot at advancing. Also competing locally, Kaylin Orr of Anderson Prep and Shaylin Dwyer of Pendleton Heights in the Lawrence Central Regional Discus. And the Mengelt formulation says that North Central is going to fairly comfortably win another regional championship, and Cathedral should be 2nd. Competing for 3rd place, Chittard, Franklin Central, and Heritage Christian. And a bunch of teams should feel pretty good about finishing in the top 5 as a team, including Pendleton Heights, Lawrence Central, Lawrence North, Brebeuf, Warren Central, New Pal, and Mount Vernon. Some other sectionals around the state. Valpo is expected to win its 4th consecutive regional championship at Portage. At Warsaw won its 10th regional championship last year and its first since 2018. It should be a very competitive field at Ben Davis. And Bloomington North is the reigning champion in Bloomington. And as always, that championship will likely come down to Bloomington North and Bloomington South. Please stay tuned for Michelle Garment of the Tipton Tribune and Elwood Call Leader.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengel.
Michelle, welcome back, I guess. You've just been here doing one after the other, but here we are talking about girls track, and tomorrow is the regional, and of course, your eyes will be on Frankton and Tri-Central, and they are in 2 different regionals, correct?
Yes, they are.
We have Tri-Central going to Lafayette Jeff, and Frankton going to Fort Wayne Carroll, so they're going 2 different directions.
They are.
But let's talk about Tri-Central and a really great career of Lily Stewart trying to extend one more week.
Yes, Lily, multiple times this year has broken her own school records in the shot and discus. And she's going to be looking to make it to her first state finals. I think for her to do that, it's probably going to take her and 2 more record-breaking throws, unless weather provides an equalizer or something happens. You just have to get the top 3 or do well, or the state cut, distance. It'll be tough to win that because I really believe that the Walden girl from
Yes.
Western,
Yes.
she's gonna be in at North Central High School the fall, the weekend of the
In 2
6th.
events. She may not win both on Tuesday, Michelle, but she's going to go to state in both, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, I am too. She's just she's having a tremendous season. I really think for Lily to get out in the shot, she's going to have to be close to 40 feet.
Yes.
The discus, I would say, close to 100 or 130 or better.
Yeah. Shot put, if she's not at least 38, if she's not at least 38 in shot put, then she's not going to have a chance. She needs to be at least 38, probably 40 to get there. And you're probably looking at 125 to just be competitive in the discus. 130 gives you a chance to get out.
Well, and I'd say if you get close to 40 in the shot, if you don't get out at Lafayette, that may be one of the better throws,
Good point.
to get you back, because they always fill the final 3 spots with the next best times or throws or jumps or whatever. So that's for her. That's why I'm saying probably for her to get to the state, she probably wants to be around 40, 39, 40 in the shot, and then around 100. Probably actually 135 would probably be better for her, give her even better shot, 135 or better in the discus.
And these 2, I say 2 of the better regionals in the state. They're all really good. When there's only 5, they're all really good. This is the one in Lafayette is not only the Lafayette schools, it's all the Hamilton County schools as well, and the Zionsville. That's just a stacked regional. The one in Fort Wayne, of course. Fort Wayne is traditionally a track and field hotbed.
Yes.
And this year is no different. Carroll's the 2-time reigning champion, but there's often Lures wins that, and Dwinger has won it, and Marion's been very good and is going to be good again really soon. Another good program in that one. And so that's what kind of Frankton is up against here with Jocelyn Carnes-Hatfield, a very good sprinter at Frankton, is the 12th seed in the 100-meter dash, and Chelsea Newton is the 11th seed in the 800, and those are just really tough fields.
They're real tough fields. And, I've always said this, if you're a good 100 runner, but if you've got some stamina, what you really need to do if you're from a smaller school, make yourself into a really good 400 runner.
That's right. The 400 is for the tough kids.
It is. It is. It's for the kids that don't mind hard work and training. It's hard. You do, and the workouts you have to do to make yourself a good 400, and even now a really good 800 runner, they're tough because 800 is really a sprint now, especially for guys.
I had the pleasure of being part of the Madison Grant staff this year, and some of my favorites will be running to be in the state finals or their final run of the year. And Lacey Sutherland will be the 16th seed in the 200-meter dash at Fort Wayne Carroll. And Ryland Stenger, who I'm just going to say it. I know I'm not supposed to. Michelle is one of my favorites. She is the 14th seed in the 300 hurdles, the 13th seed in the long jump, and the 6th seed in the high jump. She's going to have a chance to advance to state in those, and if she doesn't, it'll be the end of her career, and it'll be the end of the career of one of my favorites in a long, long time. And also for Madison Grant, Abby Winchester is a sophomore, and she is the 4th seed in the pole vault, having cleared 9 feet. She's one of 4 who have cleared 9 feet in that regional, so very good chance for her to get to the state finals. And she's already done one thing, Michelle, that I never did, that she's already been bragging about all week. And that's win a sectional championship in the pole vault. I never won a sectional championship in track. So she's bested me, and she's only a sophomore. So
Well,
bright
I'm gonna.
future for Abby, and I think we got a chance to get her to state this weekend.
Well, I've got a cousin. I had a cousin that
Right.
was the state pole vault champion for girls. She is just did her junior season. Is that right? At sophomore junior season at UIndy. But anyway, she was the pole vault champ, and her sister is a senior at Plainfield, and it's Claudia Van Bibber. Mackenzie Van Bibber is the pole vault state champion, the one at UIndy now. But Claudia is her younger sister. She's a senior at Plainfield, and she just took up pole vaulting last year as a junior, and she won her sectional last week. So she's headed to the regional. So there's a chance she could also qualify and go to state, which I'm wishing her all the best luck, and I really hope she gets to. It would be fantastic for her, and so I always marvel. I love the pole vaulters because I mean that's a special athlete because you know there's got to be a little bit of fear as you go and you're using a bar and you're propelling you up and over and knowing that
That's right. It's a
a
cool
bad
event.
landing could it takes courage and you have to be a good athlete. And some of the best pole vaulters I've known, the females anyway, they've done some kind of gymnastics or dance, things that have really enhanced their core strength when they were younger. And
Hmm.
so but
When I was in high school, it was Rob Barr and Dan Pantos. Dan Pantos is my guy. Shout out to you. Also, good luck to Lacey and Orion and to Abby at the regional, and of course to Lily and to everybody in our coverage area at those regionals, Michelle. Thanks so much to Michelle for joining us, and thank you for listening. If you like these podcasts, please share them with your friends and family to help spread the word about the Central Indiana Sports Report. And please join us for the Central Indiana Scoreboard Show every morning, 365 days a year. At least that's the plan. I'm a one-man operation and do that by myself. Work very hard on it. So please check it out. The Central Indiana Scoreboard Show. I humbly thank you in advance. Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media. And I love Susie.